新梅老师, you can share your PPT from your end. I have opened up. 好.
I haven't been past the sharing ability. Let me try again. I tried to share it, but didn't seem to allow me to go.
Okay, try again now. So it's our pleasure to invite Dr.
Okay, now.
Okay.
It's working.
Great.
Can you share?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked. Thank you. But my turn now. Hello, everyone. Morning. Let me try to open this. I think there's something wrong. Because it's hiding by this Zoom stuff. It's hiding my.
Oh, you can expand your PowerPoint to the full. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you've done it. Well done.
No. Okay, good. Morning, everyone. I think everyone enjoying the first session probably didn't want to get back to the seat. Sit down, what's for? We're not doing academic, we're doing the practice Tai Chi. However, I'm very honored to be invited by Mrs. Li, the Qigong, the Qigong Institute, to be here to give all the Qigong fans, put that way, Qigong fans, a talk, a bit about the theory, So first of all, who I am, probably say, are you a Tai Chi practitioner? I'm a Chinese medicine doctor and has been practicing Chinese medicine and teaching Chinese medicine as well for how many years? 35 years now. And my time about teaching, I'm also practicing acupuncture and herbal medicine, and I'm a big fan of Tai Chi and Qigong, especially health Qigong. And I also, one of my prescription to my patients is to learn Qigong, because we can only treat you when you're ill, but we can't really make you not ill. The only thing you can make yourself not ill is by doing something. Of course, Qigong is my favorite. I think it's very, very good to preventing from disease, to reserve your energy, to make the energy balance. So I thought this is the best way to keep your mind, your body, and your, we call it mind, body, and spirit, put that way, harmonized together, then you don't get ill. That's the principle. So today, I'm here, just give an introduction about what is Qi, what is blood. Of course, we know the blood. We know the body fluid. Very clearly, we all know this. No need to explain too much. However, we are here to introduce the concept of Chinese medicine, like some concept, very, very, very basic concept. Also, we learn something about what we are doing, because we know the exercise, we do the exercise. But when you're looking at Mrs. Li to do the Qigong, I'm a fan of her. I always follow her when I have time, because sometimes I don't have time to carry on every session. So you're looking at what they doing, like Dr. Ye, Mr. Ye and Mrs. Li, they do this very harmonized way. You can't see why they're looking like dancing, because it's not just movement, it's about the Qi flow. So now when we see them, probably not everyone can copy exactly what she's doing. It's by, I think what they are doing is after so many years practice, they know the flow of the qi. They understand the harmony of the body. So they do very nicely and harmonized way. Of course, we are very familiar with qi from Qigong. We always say Qigong, Qigong, Qigong. Do you really understand what qi is? And of course, you probably say, oh, another word, because I saw so many people, 75 people, probably we can't get chance to interact. But if you only have 7 students, I will ask, what do you think? What's your concept? What your mind? But we can't have this answering listening session. We just talk. So unfortunately, have to be me, probably take the dominate talking. So probably people say, Tai Chi, what about Tai Chi? Tai Chi is not Chi, it's Tai Chi. Chi means endless movement. So this movement is endless movement. However, it's performing the Qi. So that's how we are going to do. So we understand the blood, we understand body fluid, how they work together. It's all this. Why they are working to nourishing our body, to transport and to make our body working. It's all based on qi, all based on the qi. So we need to know. So I will spend the most time to talk about qi, what qi is. So hopefully you can bear with me for 40 minutes. So the first slide is about qi. Then I put the Chinese here. These already gave us a bit of concept of qi, because this qi, the word of qi in Chinese, there are 2 small words together. One is this qi. You can imagine this qi almost like an L. Like an L, we breathe in. The L we breathe in. Also, you can think this qi, it's the oxygen, put it that way. Does that make sense? Oxygen. Then another inside here is the word of rice. This word is rice. So you can see the Asian qi is a combination of air and rice. Rice means what? Food. So that's already gave us a very, very simple concept what qi is. Qi is our life force combined with, like, for example, if you make the Western understanding, is combined with the oxygen and the food. Without oxygen, we can't live. Without food, we can't live. So that's how qi is, what qi is. But that is very simple. So of course, if you are coming back to the academic concept, because in Chinese medicine, we treat the patient all the time, tune the qi. Even use this Qigong is tune the qi. So this qi is not just about oxygen, about the food. It's a lot, much more complex. So of course, if you think this is too much, we don't want to learn that, it's fine. But probably better to have some idea about what we're talking about. So it's a term, this qi, what is qi? Qi is like what's called human interaction with nature, with nature inside the human being to subdivide and categorize bodily function. So every function we perform is based on the qi, whether your qi is working. So that's why we learn the Qigong about. We make sure our qi is sufficient and in the right direction. Also going to the right direction. When you go to the different direction or wrong direction, disease happened. For example, qi stagnated, qi rebellions. It's not going to the right direction. For example, we say lung qi is supposed to go down, but if the lung is being blocked, like this COVID, the lung being blocked by the virus, then the lung qi rebellion up, then causing coughing. Same as stomach qi going to downwards, but the stomach qi going upwards, you're vomiting. For example, stress can make you feel sick. So that's this a little bit medical. But I think if you understand, you can help our students. I'm teaching. Of course, I've been teaching along over 30 years. My students, some people said, to be honest, May, after I've learned the Chinese medicine, I feel like even I'm not able to treat patients, I can treat myself much better because they understand more. So, and myself and my family, and make them healthier just by purely understand all this kinds of concept, the idea of Chinese medicine. Of course, Qigong is also based on Chinese medicine, based on Taoism. Chinese medicine also based on Taoism. If we say Chinese medicine is a medicine, but I think it's a combination of medicine and culture. It's very, very useful, very important. So what Qi's definition is not easy to define, but we can actually define the Qi as a life force, the life force. You understand, when we do the Qigong, you feel that kind of tingling sensation. That's how the Qi is moving inside your body. So you can feel that magnet kind of sensation. That's your life is back to yourself. We're always doing things. We're consuming our Qi a lot, all the time, rushing around and giving our energy out and stress out. All this is consuming our Qi, but by doing the Qigong, Tai Chi, we just bring the Qi back. So we do a lot of this circulating. This is just bring the Qi back and breathing and concentrate. So the Qi is not only rely on the oxygen, rely on the food, you also rely on your mind, our mind. We can't have a good Qi without our good kind of sense of calmness and breathing as well. So it's a life force, or some people explain like an invisible being. We can see the body obviously there, but we can't really see the Qi. But this Qi is a real human being. It's a real, whether this person is healthy or not. So Qi in the body is doing the function to, because we have the Qi, we can make the fruit ripe. We can ripen the fruit and make the food become a nutrition, become a nutrients, and to nourish our body. So in that sense, Qi is a function. However, Qi also can produce the blood as an energy. That is all like invisible, is a function. It's a function. However, the blood, the Qi will also circulate in our body, like oxygen, for example, oxygen. So this is a material. So if we say, we define the Qi as a life force, how about the oxygen? It is also life force, but its nourishing is like a material nourishing the whole body. So overall, Qi is too broad to concept to be covered by an idea of energy or either lay or scientific term. That's someone in the book saying that. Very difficult. So that's why the Chinese medicine research is not easy to conduct, because involving so much. The mental, the spiritual, your breathing and your exercise. So all this involved. So in general, so Qi are both matter and energy. I already explained, so I just go up through it. So what Qi is doing? What the Qi is doing? So if we understand what Qi is doing, when you do Qigong, you know why we're doing this. Every day, it's just like my patients, they follow the YouTube, and sometimes I also practice Qigong. I just open my channels, let them to follow me. So every time they say, wow, I feel like I lifted. I believe you that follow Fan Yi for many years. But I know some of you are many years, but some of you are new. So I think in the future, if you learn the Qigong, you know what you're doing and you know what you gain from doing that. So because you understand what Qi is doing, So governing, raising, and holding. So for example, some organ prolapsed. That is a Qi collapsed. The Qi collapsed. Or you feel really, really tired. That's because Qi is not sufficient. So that's why I said to my patients sometimes, they said, I'm really enjoying this Qigong, because she said, just raise my energy, just like lift it. I feel all day I can carry on work with the fresh air. I feel like, although I go jogging, doing all these things, but not as good as the Qigong, feel like very relaxed and calm, and she can concentrate better. So that's how, because the Qi's been gathered and reserved back. So it's keeping of course, This is a very Chinese medicine theory. The spleen, the kidney, keeping the blood flow within the vessel. If your qi is not holding the blood, you can have bleeding, as simple. Or if your qi is not holding the organ, your organ can prolapse. So control and adjusting the secretion and excretion of sweat, urine, and saliva. For example, if people just profusely sweating, that is qi is not sufficient, not control the secretion and the excretion of the sweat. That's the and also the qi holding the urine. So if you incontinence, that is we said qi is very insufficient, not solid enough. And also the consolidating and storing body essence, preventing emission. So this obviously, some people suffer from like bleeding or premature ejaculation. All this is to do with qi. We said it's kidney qi, of course, kidney qi. Consolidating organ as to prevent them from descending, prevent them from prolapse. So that's the one of the function. Another function is activating. My mom is calling me, sorry. The function of qi and also activating, promoting, and warming. After just warming up from Mr. Ye, we just did this pushing pose, this movement. You feel your body, it's been activated. Do you feel that? At least myself feel activated. I was telling Fei Ying, I said, oh gosh, I wake up with headache today. I'm a bit tired. And I just don't know whether I will be concentrated. But after this exercise, I feel like I'm activated and I'm warmed up. I had the scarf at the beginning. I feel like because my neck is very cold. After this warm up, that is what qi is doing. That's how qi is doing. So also defending why we got COVID, why we got virus, because the qi is deficient. We don't have a defensive qi sufficient enough to preventing from the we call external passaging. So I'm doing the Qigong, and I teach sometimes I tell my patient to do it as well. Just say during this COVID time, pandemic, we really need to do more. I think thanks Fei Ying and the Qigong, Qigong Institute, really impressive and really good job they've done. Just teach people at home to do this visual, teach this online Tai Chi Qigong sessions. It's really good for us because we're not able to go out as much. We're not able to go to the gym. But I think the best thing is to stay at home, to do some reservation of the qi, to get the qi very balanced. And particularly the defensive qi can preventing, we call it combat the invading evil qi, combat. So if some people have the COVID, they can very easy to recover. But some people it takes ages, even they can die just because the qi is not sufficient. So of course, for myself, I'm also worried about COVID, but I'm still working in my clinic, very fully booked. My patients, because I feel confident, because I do the Qigong and I drink some herbs, of course, to make my qi sufficient enough. So that's all about qi and transforming. So the qi transforming a general like a metabolism, how the metabolism going on. It's all based on our qi, Why the food can be changed to the nutrition and why the water can be transformed as a body fluid to nourishing. It's all based on our qi. So this is qi. Of course, in Chinese medicine, we just talk about a broad concept of qi, but we have a different type of qi coming from different organ. So every zang, we call zang organ is zang and fu in Chinese medicine, zang and fu. So each zang, for example, the spleen the lung produce zhong qi, and the stomach produce nutritive qi. The lung and the kidney produce the wei qi, defensive wei qi. And Finally, it's 正气 and 邪气. 正气means the right qi. The right qi is a good qi. 邪气 is we call evil qi. So we can give a little bit of explanation one by one, but this can go very, very quickly because unless you learn Chinese medicine, you have to understand fully because you will treat the patients. But for us, we just have some kinds of concept to understand what's going on in our body. So this qi is like a bit specific to act different kinds of role in the body. So qi, this is zhong qi, we call it gathering qi or chest qi. This is chest qi. So it's very, very, very important because this chest qi is the source or the power to ensure the blood can be made. This blood is, we call Chinese medicine blood. Of course, you know, so this qi, because you say it's a chest qi, or as long as we see the chest qi, you know the qi location is from the chest, in the chest. So the organ involved, the stomach, spleen, and lung. Of course, you haven't learned Chinese medicine organ. What's that? This means spleen is, spleen is a lymph system. Why is to do with that? But in Chinese medicine, spleen in charge of the whole, like the digestive system, transforming the food and transporting the nutrients to different places in the body. So spleen, we call it the post-heaven organ. But a pre-heaven organ is kidney. It's from your parents. You're born with the already existing essence, the Jing. But you need constantly eat, not constantly eat, daily eating, daily food to make sure you got energy to carry on your work. So that's to do with, that depends on the spleen, So, and also lungs, we know with our blood, if we don't have oxygen, you will die. You will not having a blood, or you will not have, for example, we know the blood contains the iron. Where the iron come from? From food. Contain the oxygen. Where the oxygen come from? From our lungs, from our breathing. So these are basically the gathering zhong qi. It's just like the oxygen and iron together. But of course, with the lung, the force of the lung to pushing through, and we said pushing into the heart. The heart in Chinese medicine is a red color, so the qi become red. Then that's called blood. That is very interesting. It's very different from Western medicine, of course. The Western medicine said this is only from marrow. The blood is from marrow. Of Chinese medicine also we said from marrow, because marrow is a pre-heaven blood, but from our lungs, from our heart is post-heaven blood. So that's very, it's not irrelevant, it's relevant. I still believe, of course, my background, when I was in China, I was doing medicine. We prescribe everything in the hospital. I work in the hospital, and as a physician, we give patients all the time the Western drugs. The Chinese herbal medicine also I practice is like a complementary, but the Western drug, you go to China, anybody who went to China, you must see in the Chinese medicine hospital, everyone, we have the Ying patient department. So patients can have a lot of drips, drops, everywhere. And we use Western medicine. But over those years, I realized really Chinese medicine is really, sometimes it's very simple, but really makes sense. Sometimes it's probably more advanced in some way than Western medicine. Because Western medicine, they make your diagnosis. They make a diagnosis correct. But how many patients can be treated? And whether patient understand why they get ill, whether patient understand how they can preventing from disease. Not many. Of course, nowadays people realize nutrition, exercise is good, but not really. That's why I'm invited to talk about qi, just get better understanding about this. So that's the zhong qi. Next, so the function and dysfunction of zhong qi. Of course, the function is This Zhong Qi in charge of the respiratory, speech, and voice. Obviously, you can listen to my voice, it's quite loud because I'm teaching and I'm doing Qigong all the time, every day, almost every day, even 八段锦, simple, but I think it's working. Of course, I do others, like Jing I learned from another tutor. I'm doing the Tai Chi with from the Fei, and I do the fan dancing. Brilliant. After the fan dance, I feel like I've been jogging for miles. So it's great. So probably my energy is not bad. And also cardiovascular fills the heart to regulate qi, promote heartbeat, regulating body temperature and activities. If your zhong qi is dysfunction, is not working properly, you're breathing short of breath. And chest congestions, COPD, that is the zhong qi is not working. COPD patient, the chronic things, and palpitation, and the arrhythmia, like the heartbeat is irregular, sluggish blood movement, and cold, not cod, sorry. Typer here. Cold, sorry. Oh, cold. Oh. How could I forgot how to spell code? Cold hands and feet, lassitude, and lethargic. Symptoms worse on exertion. If you, all these symptoms get much worse when you exercise. So this is a zhong qi, the first qi in the chest. So we said, baby, when you're born, the first thing the baby need to do is crying, not laughing, the crying. Why? The lung qi opened, they can get the air into your lung. So the life force started. So that's zhong qi. The second, this should be the first. Sorry, this should be the first because this is most important. The location is dantian. We're talking about dantian. Qi, when we finish, qi chen dantian. Or when we start, we always say, calm and breathing into your dantian. Why? Because this is the original qi coming from. In Chinese, we call it yuan qi. This is where the yuan qi coming from. So that is very important. The key place is which organ involved? Kidney, stomach, and spleen. Why we said stomach and spleen? Kidney, this in Chinese medicine, kidney is not only just in charge of the urination. Not at all. Chinese medicine, kidney is so important. We said if you want longevity, you want to live longer, you need your kidney strong, kidney essence. So where this kidney, what kidney play the role? The kidney Jing, this original qi, normally is from our parents. You receive this essence, this qi, original qi, as much as your parents can give it to you. You can't really add much more unless you do a very good job. For example, you rest enough and you have very good food and you don't consuming too much. But our lifetime, we're consuming a lot more than what we should. So that's the trouble. So we can, of course, some people can die earlier, some people die later. It's depends on how they reserve the kidney qi. Okay. So the formation is origin qi from the parents, constantly receive aid from food and drink nutrient qi after birth and circulate and filling the full body. Next, this is the original qi. So the function and dysfunction of yuan qi, the activating growth. You see, this yuan qi is so important. How we grow, that it depends on our yuan qi. Promoting functional activities, all organs and meridians. So we tonify kidney, make sure the kidney qi is not consuming so much. But also don't, in terms of treatment, I tell my patients, if your kidney qi is deficient, sometimes it's not easy to supply by acupuncture. You need some herbs. You need some adding supplements. Of course, when you get older, we take all sorts of supplements. I only take my herbs, that to make me keeping young, keeping relatively young. So the motivating power of vitality. This is the motivating power of vitality. The kidney energy, so important. When you have a kidney qi, original qi deficient, so that's why we always mind, when we do Tai Chi, Qigong, always, especially Qigong, we said, concentrate your mind, concentrate on your dantian. Just please coming back to my dantian. Make sure my dantian is full of qi. So that's very important. If you don't have a good yuan qi, you will have the slow growth and development in children, reduced organ functions in elderly and with chronic illness, general debility and susceptibility to diseases. So you can get diseases if your yuan qi not strong. So this qigong is wonderful to preventing you from getting ill. So the next one is defensive qi. Defensive qi. You see, we already introduced zhong qi, yuan qi. The next one is defensive qi. What means defensive qi? Immune system. Our immune system. So how our immune system formed, it all depends on this defensive qi. So this circulating the body surface outside of the meridians and formed by zhong qi and the nutritive, nourished by yuan qi. So this defensive qi also depends on zhong qi and yuan qi. So the first two are most important. If you don't have a sufficient zhong qi and yuan qi, you will not have a good defensive qi. Very simple. So that's why defensive qi is preventing from virus, preventing from any possible pathogens attacking our body. Not only virus, anything really. Even you have bacteria infection, how you recover is based on your defensive qi. Your immune system is good. Your white cell is working hard, working good. That's the defensive qi. Okay. So if it's dysfunction, then the weak immune system and sweating abnormally and also catching germs, all sorts of germs. So our immune system is so important. So we train ourselves to be sound, to be balanced, and to have a good qi movement, so we can ensure our defensive qi working. So especially this pandemic. So some people, of course, they are very confident saying they are not going to get ill because they know the qi is very balanced. Even they got it. I have a patient or get the COVID, lost the smell only for 1 day, it's gone. So recovered because her immune system is very strong. So the last one is nutritive qi. Nutritive qi is more, it's just like a food qi. Food qi. This just by food and drink and making the nutrition, Of course, this is based on you have a good digestive system. This is also based on you have a good yuan qi. The yuan qi is the qi to ripen, to go like a cooker, and the stomach is like a container. So you need the fire from your kidney to warm the food and ripen it. So that's why when you learn this, you know, in order to make the nutritive qi, you need your stomach and spleen, like your digestive system sound and good, and also avoid too much cold food. When you're young, you can eat cold food. When you get certain age, you still eat cold food. You need a lot of energy. You need a lot of qi warming. You consume your energy, you gradually become qi deficient. That's the very simple ones. Of course, the function is like a nutrition to vessels. Vessels is like organs and meridians. So finally, it's zhen qi and xie qi. I think my time is nearly. Zhen qi and xie qi. So zhen qi is like the right qi, righteous qi, and evil qi. So we call the positive energy and we call the negative energy. Of course, evil qi including a lot of things, pathogens and different and toxins created by the toxin created by internal organs. So that can be too much to talk within this 30 minutes. So of course, if someone wants to learn a bit about Chinese medicine, welcome. Welcome to coming to my lecture and to learn a bit more. It's a lot of things. So the Qigong, finally, Qigong is to promote the Zhen Qi, to defeat the evil Qi. This is most important. You understand why you're doing Qigong, okay? So this is just a chart to understand how they formed. Of course, again, the nutritive air, the natural air, food and water, and inert vital substances is from your parents. So these are the three very, very important kinds of element, or not element, that like the materials we need to have to in order the protective qi and nutritive qi working. So through the lungs, the spleen, and the kidney, and making all the qis combined with the kind of we call it pre-heaven, inborn qi, and form the normal qi. And the normal qi including defensive qi, or we call protective qi, and nutritive qi. So in general, qi flow in the meridians where the movement is seen, a transmission and convenience. So I just passing through. I think the direction of the qi, or we have already said a lot. And dysfunction of qi, just this is the example. If our qi deficient, look at how many symptoms you will have: sweating, poor appetite, spontaneous daytime sweating, shortness of breath, food sensitivities. Some people say, oh, I have an allergy, my stomach is just allergic to. They think it's the bone like that. I said, no, you can be treated. IBS, you can be treated. Food sensitivities or allergies can be treated. It's all to do with qi deficient. Of course, there's dizziness, muscle weakness, mental fatigue, pale complexion, disillusionment, disillusionment. Anyway, the tongue and pulse, of course, will show. This is when you become a doctor, when you become a practitioner, you have to know all this. So in order to understand, because my title is also Qi, blood, the body fluid. So this, with the Qi, where I already mentioned, where the blood coming from? Oxygen, iron. So, but this oxygen and iron from the Qi, Long Qi, the Zhong Qi, the nutritive qi and nutritive qi from the middle jaw, they go into the lung and transport into the heart. Then the heart turns red, it becomes a blood. This is Chinese medicine concept about blood. It's very different from Western medicine, but actually makes sense. Why it's coming to the lung? Because we need oxygen. Why we need the food? Because of iron or other elements and substances in the blood. So that's the blood. The blood, again, is based on qi. We said qi and blood relationship, that's the most important. I just want to talking about the qi and blood relationship. Look, this I already talked, we go through. Function of the blood. Function of the blood is nourishing. Why we have the color? Why we have the power? Why we have the memory? This all depends on our blood. But without qi, carry the pushing, not carry. Qi pushing the blood into each place. We go to different places. The blood can be carried to different places. It depends on the qi. However, the blood also carry the qi. When the blood go different places, also carry the qi to make every organ working. So they are really interrelated. Without any of it, it's not working. So we need qi and blood, transforming the qi. We said the blood is the mother of the qi. The qi is a commander of the blood. Does that make sense? Hopefully you feel like it makes sense. Qi is commander, guiding, governing, and the blood is mother, carry the sun, go in different places. Okay, so if the qi, blood deficient, blood dysfunction, we have blood states deficient, just like you're very pale, you're very tired, you poor memory, you can't sleep because your blood is not nourishing your shen. the spirit, the mental, and the blood stasis. You have the lots of stagnation. Your hands and feet is very, very cold and pale, and your lips, everything is pale and purple. Everything become purple. Oh, you have a stroke. You have a heart attack. It's all to do with heart blood stasis. The blood heat is like you stress so much, or you eat so much junk food, too much heat in the body, to warm the blood. Then the blood is too hot, then they exposed to the skin, you got eczema, psoriasis. Just give you a quick example. So this is just too detailed. We don't do that. So next one is Jing, because in your title we didn't talk about Jing. Probably it's just my name is probably forgot about Jing. So this is Jing, essence, the essence. Why I put this is so important. Looking at this, we in Chinese medicine we're talking about Jing Qi Shen. Have you heard about Jing Qi Shen? Jing Qi Shen is so important. Jing, well, you know, gin tonic. We always say gin tonic. My sons, Mom, I need sports. I need gin tonic. I said, why? He said, I need energy. I said, energy, you already got it. You don't need to add in. I already passed a good Jing to you. That is the Jing. So Qi, Jing and Qi, the life force, vitality. With Jing and sufficient Jing and Qi, you have a good Shen. Shen means what? Heart, the spirit, the mental state, the mental state. You can see someone's, oh, just tired. I got headache. I was just lethargic, like you can see someone, we can diagnose this person, lack of Shen, lack of Shen, lack of Jing Shen. We always in Chinese with lack of Jing Shen, 没有精神, lack of Jing Shen, because they don't have a good Qi, they don't have good Jing, because they are ill, or they just constitutionally just very weak, so they don't have a good Shen. So someone smart, which means what? The Jing Qi is very sufficient, very strong. Doesn't mean, of course, you can say someone is not smart. Not smart also indicates something, of course, from your parents. You can't blame him. But on the other hand, could be because the Jing and Qi is consumed. So that's why I said Jing. Jing, look at Jing. Jing, this side of the Jing, also the rice. And this side of the Jing is Qing. It means everything from green. Green is very important. But anyway, this Jing is from, we said the widest sense of is anything essential to maintenance of life. And the essential question is essence is the basis of the body. And Jing means Qi, and is basis of natural world, forms cosmos, and is defined as substances. In the narrow sense, it refers to the parent, like a prenatal Jing, prenatal from your parents. So when we say Jing Shen is a broad sense, but in the narrow sense, it's just from our parents, So in English translation of the Jing is essence. So we have both two essence. One is acquired essence, postnatal essence. Another one is congenital essence. So I said, we only have sufficient Jing from our patient to keep us going probably for 100 years. But if you're consuming too much, you can die or you can get ill by 50 years old. Why? Because this is just like a saving account. But this is like it's like a current account. We always adding in the food, make sure we have energy to do the things, to work. But if you don't eat properly, or you don't eat, or you consuming, not only eat, you're consuming so much from your food. For example, stress, overly work, like mental work. A lot of, that's why we said the infertility treatment, we call infertility. The scientists find more intelligent people, less fertile. Why? That sounds like, oh, what a shame. More intelligent because it uses too much brain. The brain consuming the Jing, consuming the essence. This essence is assurance for what? For eggs, put that way. So your egg is not getting sufficient Jing to nourish, then it's not good enough. So you can't really conceive. So that's it. So the Jing also responsible for reproduction. So look, this is a chain, the kinds of chain of pre-having Jing and post-having Jing. So pre-having is like this, we called double, double chain, you know, the chromosomes. And the post-having Jing is all this food, lots of burgers. We said that burger, that's junk food, but junk food means sometimes because it's too much. If you have too much, of course, you put the body under the burden, and you can get more disease too. That is a bit irrelevant to today, and we talk about. If you are interested, we can talk about more in the future. So the reproductive essence is also it's from our parents, really, from parents, and also can be consumed by different things. So that's just give you an idea about essence. The function of the Jing, including, this is important, reproduction, growth and development, produce marrow and blood. So why when we get old, our bone become weak? Because the Jing is deficient. Our bone become weak. So, but this Jing can be nourished constantly by the Qi, by our Qigong, our reserving. That's why we do Qigong, reserve, please coming back to myself. Don't always giving out. We need something. So I practice Qigong because I treat patients. I give lectures. I giving too much out. So I need to reserve it for a certain time. So I'm trying to do every day, just bring back, so I can reserve a bit. So try to delay the aging, isn't it? So we're fighting. I said to myself, to my patient, I said, I'm constantly fighting from aging because I do all the things, make sure I'm not getting old in terms of physical and mental as well. If you're mentally ill, you can get dementia earlier. So growth and development, obviously. Reproduction, I already mentioned it. So the last one is Jin Ye. So this Jing, it's almost, we call also like the Yuan Qi. Jing almost can put the arrow, can put the kind of the equivalent to Yuan Qi. That's what the Jing. Jing is almost like a Yuan Qi. Yuan Qi produce Jing. So we have learned Yuan Qi from Qi. The last one is Jin Ye. Jin Ye implies to all normal fluid substances of the human body, all the fluid type, Jin Ye. Of course, the main function is to adequately moisten the organs, particular mucosa, basically just moisturizing. You probably ask what's relevant to us. The body fluid we needed. Of course, this body fluid is also based on the Qi. For example, you said, why you get a bit older, why you go to toilet so much? You feel like you drink as much and you go to passing water as much. You don't really reserve it. Why? Because your Qi is deficient, your Jing, your body fluid is not being used, not being transformed into the way it should be to go in. You said, I drink plenty of water, but I still feel my skin is very dry. Because you drink water didn't mean your body can transform it into the good way. You just passed out, because you don't have the Qi to transform it, Yang Qi, we call it Yang Qi, transform it into the fluid to moisturize different places. So that is human body, the body fluid, moisturizing. So this is basically the chart to understand the body fluid. Body fluid is from here, from the food, water, and go to the spleen and transform it into the body fluid. Body fluid or go to the triple burner, distribute pathway for body fluid. You know, the 八段锦, the first exercise is 伸展, just do all this stretching to allow the sanjiao, to call this triple burner, to have a good circulation, to allow all the body fluid going through everywhere. That's the first movement of 八段锦, so triple burner. And also part of it go to spleen, transport into the lung defending the impure one, the dirty one, into the kidney, and go to the bladder and pass out. The good one will transport into the whole body, and of course go into the water and go into the stomach, intestine. Then the impure fluid go to the large intestine, so you don't suffer constipation because it's moisturizing the intestine. And also the separating in the small intestine, the separating the impure one to the pure one again go to the triple burner and distribute. So that is the body fluid. So if the body fluid is not good working, they causing problems, especially like too much water pass out and fat. You become fat because don't forget the fat cells contain 60% water. People say, oh, why I can't lose weight? I'm so big. They do a lot of things to lose weight. I said, because you are Qi deficient. So if you want to keep you fit, practice Qigong. So, and this Jing, and also if you lack of Jing, you feel dry. Your skin is dry, your mouth is dry, everything, and you're constipated because it's so dry. You lack of Jing. One thing, of course, you don't eat enough, you don't drink enough. Another thing is your Qi, again, deficient. So the dysfunction of Jin Ye is just like dry or water retention, or can become a passaging, we call it phlegm. The phlegm, you probably say, oh, probably the phlegm you can split out from your lung. That's one thing, the one we call the substantial phlegm. But there's a non-substantial phlegm can mist your brain, make you confused, your mental kind of not working. Another phlegm can be a lump, even the cancer. Even cancer is part of phlegm, blood, qi, and toxin mixed together. It becomes a very solid lump. That is part of it is phlegm. Phlegm can cause a lot of conditions, diseases. So this is the final one. So basically we practice Qigong, we have this yin yang circle, yin yang. Qigong Tai Chi is non-stop, like endless movement. So this is the cone here. Then make Tai Chi pole in the center. Of course, this energy going to the different channels, meridians. This is the 8 extraordinary vessels. This is 10 heavenly stems, and go to the 12 earthly branches. So we have the leg meridian, and hand meridian. After the practice, Fei always said, pushing, just patting on the channels. Yin is here, yang is on the back. Yin channel, yang channel. Yin channel and yang channel on the leg. So open it, allow the energy flow, and all just flow, like making the yin and the yang transforming, transporting. They are always turning and depending on each other. Yin can become the yang. Yang is the function. This function ensure the yin substances become a nutrition and work in your body. So that's how the yin yang work, how we treat the patients. This is very, very basic concept, how we work Chinese medicine. So finally, thank you. If you have questions, welcome. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Xing. I just returned the, okay, that was great. There was so much information that passed on to us, and I'm sure it takes a long time to digest, and we will definitely want to follow up. It's very helpful to understand from the traditional Chinese medicine strand how Qigong and Tai Chi actually works to improve one's health and well-being and help to reduce or slow down the aging process, but also most importantly to optimize the health and well-being. All of us are so needed, desperately in these special times. So thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoy that. I'm sure everybody else also enjoy that. Very enlightening from many theories, even though we sort of in our heart all knew Tai Chi and Qigong is good for us, but it's very, very helpful.